Are we caught up now? Are we good? Okay. Any old business?
We do not have any old business.
Any new business?
We will have a meeting next month. We will have 4 cases. Additionally, which this could have fallen under old business, but we had the last bi-monthly work session with the Board of Supervisors and Planning Commission last night for the zoning ordinance update. So that will go into public input period. We will have another work session in February to go over the final draft of the document before it moves into the public hearing phase sometime next spring.
Okay. All right. Thank you. There's no chairman's report, so it's now 6:04. We'll open the public hearing. Pursuant to Article 5, Division 7 of the Pennsylvania County Zoning Ordinance, we, the Board of Zoning Appeals, have been empowered to hear and decide specific applications and appeals in support of said ordinance. In accomplishing this important task, we are charged with promoting the health, safety, and general welfare of the citizens of Pennsylvania County. We must ensure that all our decisions and recommendations be directed to these goals, and that each be consistent with the environment, the comprehensive plan, and in the best interest of Pennsylvania County, its citizens, and its posterity. Anyone here to speak to the board other than the applicant regarding zoning cases will be limited to 3 minutes. Public hearing case S23-014, Ms. Ragsdale.
Case S-23-014, Appalachian Power Company has petitioned for a special use permit on 9 parcels totaling 140.67 acres located on or off of State Road 708 Long Circle, U.S. Highway 58, Martinsville Highway, and State Road 952 Blackbird Place in the Tunstall Election District to allow for a new transmission line. On September 5th, 2023, the Planning Commission recommended by a 7-0 vote with opposition that the special use permit be granted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, a representative from Appalachian Power is here to represent the petition.
All right. Yes, sir.
No.
There's a little button up there somewhere.
How about, there we go.
There you go.
All right, good evening. I'm Daniel Fraser with Power Engineers, an engineering and environmental consultant representing Appalachian Power Company for the Brosville Transmission Upgrades Project. I appreciate you shifting the agenda around. Hopefully we'll keep this brief, but do want to present this project to you. The project and special use permit application include a proposed electric substation and a 1-mile long, 138 kilovolt electric transmission line. So I'll briefly present the need for the project this evening, describe the proposed substation and transmission line, and then explain Appalachian Power's process and assessment of the effects of the project. So first, the why behind the project. The Brosville Transmission Upgrades Project will deliver an additional power source to Danville Utilities and the local transmission system. Danville Utilities distributes electricity to approximately 42,000 customer locations in their service territory, which includes the southern third of Pittsylvania County. Their local transmission system supports 15 schools, a hospital, 3 nursing homes, and 2 industrial parks. And that's in addition to the thousands of residential and commercial customers in their service territory. The additional power source delivered by the project will increase electric reliability for the community, and that local transmission grid will be better positioned to support existing and future development in the area. There are 2 components of this project. First is the proposed Brosville substation south of US Route 58. Between Brosville and West Fork, it's indicated by the blue triangle on that map. And then secondly, the proposed Brosville 138 kilovolt extension, which is a transmission line between that proposed substation and an existing Appalachian Power transmission line on the north side of 58. The proposed substation is planned to be constructed on 2 parcels owned by the city of Danville, which are outlined in pink on the map. You might be able to see that. Appalachian Power has obtained easements from the city of Danville to construct and operate the proposed substation on these parcels. The existing West Fork substation, which is a Danville utility substation, you can kind of see in the gravel area at the top of the map. And the proposed substation itself is outlined by the white dashed line directly south of that existing station. The yellow on the map shows the proposed access roads to the station, and the light blue features indicate the proposed stormwater ponds and water management plan. The existing vegetation along the access road on the right side of the image, the east side, will be maintained to the extent possible. This representative photo shows a similar substation. The proposed Brosville substation will be an approximately 210 by 190 foot station within a fenced and graveled area, and the estimated maximum height of the equipment within the fence will be about 60 feet above ground. Switching to the proposed transmission line, this is a 1 mile long transmission line between that new substation and Appalachian Power's existing Axton to Danville number 2, 138 kV transmission line, which is again on the north side of US Route 58. The line begins at a new structure on the existing transmission line near Blackbird Place and travels southeast for just at 1 mile, crosses Route 58 near Bethany Baptist Church, and ends at the proposed Brosville substation on Long Circle. The proposed transmission line will primarily be built using double circuit single pole structures, similar to this representative photo. 12 structures are proposed to be installed along the transmission line route, and the average height of those structures is approximately 105 feet. The typical right-of-way width for the proposed transmission line is 100 feet, although that may vary along the route depending on the specific needs, topography, land uses, and landowner agreements. Appalachian Power has obtained easements or is purchasing property to construct and operate the proposed transmission line across 8 parcels. So now how we got to this point. Appalachian Power started off by completing a route selection study in 2022 to determine the line route for the project. Factors such as natural and cultural resources, land uses, environmental justice, community input, engineering feasibility, and constructability were all considered in that route selection study. Public input was an important part of the process, and postcards and information packets were sent to 102 landowners in the project area. The information packet included a comment card, prepaid return envelope, and a link to the website so that landowners had multiple methods to provide comments on the project. Appalachian Power hosted an in-person public open house in April of last year at Brosville Elementary School and invited landowners in the area to come learn about the project and also provide feedback on the routes that were being considered at that time. 12 community members attended the public open house, and 6 comment cards, phone calls, or emails were received about the project. Considering all of that landowner input that was received, Appalachian Power evaluated alternative routes and identified the proposed route in June of 2022. The proposed route was selected because it minimizes the length of the line, it impacts the fewest number of landowners and parcels, avoids residences, and minimizes impacts to the natural and human environments. In the last year, Appalachian Power has worked with the affected landowners to secure the easements and the property needed for the project. During the Planning Commission hearing, a condition regarding notifying adjacent landowners was recommended or was proposed by the Planning Commission. And Appalachian Power understands the importance of private property, protecting landowners' rights, and at the same time is tasked with providing reliable electricity to the Commonwealth. Appalachian Power's standard process includes notifying affected and adjacent landowners at various times throughout the project. As I previously mentioned, there were mailings sent to landowners in the area, and company representatives have also met in person with multiple landowners to gather their input, hear their concerns, and work with them through the process. Whenever specific requests or objections are noted by landowners, those are distributed to the project team in a special conditions report that documents those so that the whole team, Appalachian Power and its contractors, are aware of special requests or objections from certain landowners. Wherever possible, the company and its contractors seek to comply with those requests. And this process is implemented on all Appalachian Power transmission projects. Additionally, Appalachian Power is a public service corporation tasked with providing reliable electricity, and as such, Section 25.1-203 of the Code of Virginia details the requirements for providing notice prior to entering private property. The Code of Virginia is specific and details the timing and manner of that notice is required when entering private property as a public utility. So given the company's standard practice and the specific requirements of the state code, Appalachian Power respectfully objects to the proposed condition because it's unnecessary given the standard process and the governing state code. So in summary, the Brownsville Transmission Upgrades Project is consistent with the purpose and intent of the Pittsylvania County Zoning Ordinance to promote the health, safety, and general welfare of the public by providing reliable public utilities to the county. Accordingly, Appalachian Power requests that you approve the special use permit as submitted to support the local transmission system and provide increased electric reliability in Pittsylvania County. So thank you. I'll be happy to take any questions you may have.
All right, anybody have any questions? The condition that you mentioned, that you all object to the condition?
Yes, sir.
That's what you said, I heard. And that condition is adjacent parcel owners will be notified in advance that Appalachian Power needs to access off of the easement before proceeding. So these are people that are not involved with the transmission, the land easements and property, but it's those close by.
Correct. That's my understanding, is it would be landowners who we do not intend to cross, that there is no easement on their property. Yeah.
And the reason you object to that?
So twofold is those landowners have been notified about the project generally, and I guess there was not a lot of specificity in that condition. So that would be number one, that landowners have been notified, and two, it's addressed by the state code, the specific details of how far in advance you have to notify landowners, how they're notified, that type of thing. So I guess our opinion is that it's unnecessary because it's addressed otherwise.
So the state code, even though they're not involved in the easement or the property purchase, correct?
Correct.
The state code protects those people from you just driving over their land?
That's correct.
I just want to make sure I understand that. Okay. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank
If
you.
you have any more, we'll call you back up.
Sounds good.
All right, has anybody signed up to speak from the public?
We do not have anyone signed up.
Okay. It is now 6:16, and close the public hearing. And we're open for discussion from the board.
I'd like to learn more about the condition. So they're asking for the condition to be removed. Ms. Ragsdale, you added that in there?
That's not a condition from staff. That was a condition that the Planning Commission recommended based on a neighbor complaint claiming that their property was crossed by some surveyors and they did not give them access to their property. That was the claim. That is where the condition stemmed from. But that is not something that staff recommended because that is, again, required by law in order for them to access their property.
Thank you.
So really, if we approve this without that condition, we're just approving the special use as presented.
That's correct. Staff did not recommend any conditions.
Well, I don't seem to have in front of me the wording for a positive motion and negative motion. Do you have that somewhere? Unless it's on here somewhere.
No, it's paper.
Okay.
There we go.
You're right. Okay. All right, any more discussion from the board?
Move for a positive motion.
All right, we have a positive motion. I'll go ahead and read that.
Is this positive motion with the condition or without the condition? Without, okay.
Without. Whereas Appalachian Power Company has petitioned the Board of Zoning Appeals for a special use permit for a transmission line and substation, and whereas we find no substantial detriment to adjacent property, that the character of the zoning district will not be changed thereby, and that such use will be in harmony with the purpose and intent of the ordinance. I move that the special use permit be granted. Motion's made by Mr. Yeaman. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second. Cast your vote if you can. I can't. I'll vote for it.
So you vote yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passed. Thank you very much for coming out. And we'll revert back to the agenda. We'll be going into closed session, so we'll need a,
I'll read the proposed motion.
okay.
So we'll need a motion to move that the Board of Zoning Appeals convene a closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A7 and A8 in order to consult with legal counsel pertaining to actual litigation where such consultation and open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating and litigating posture of the public body, and consultation with legal counsel retained by the public body regarding specific legal matters requiring legal advice by such counsel.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
We need a verbal vote. Is that right or not?
It doesn't matter if it's, certification has to be roll call.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We only vote when we come back and certify.
Well, you vote now.
We got to vote, that's what I'm thinking, we got to vote by roll call now, and we vote again when we come out.
Just a certification has to be by roll, but you can roll call vote now, it doesn't matter.
All right. Just do a roll call.
Mr. Yeaman?
teaching of the business then. Take over one day.
Be it resolved that at the Pittsylvania County Board of Zoning Appeals Board meeting on October 12, 2023, the board hereby certifies by a recorded vote that to the best of each board member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and identified in the motion authorizing the closed meeting were heard. Roll call, please.
Mr. Yeaman,
Yes.
Mr. Stone,
Yes.
Mr. Craddock,
Yes.
Mr. Merrick's,
Yes.
and Mr. Brumfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do we have any other business?
There's no other business.
We have a motion, we adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor?